This meet is huge for our team.
It's number 2 against number 5.
Two incredible teams.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
But we really want to, show them that we can take them.
When they put it all together, their potential is huge.
I mean, that's going to be the difference maker. Every time we have a meet, our goal is to win. They have a great history of gymnastics.
They're one of the 4 teams to have ever won a national championship.
But we're trying to win our first one.
Welcome inside the Lloyd Noble Center on the University of Oklahoma campus and women's gymnastics on Sooner Sports Television. Welcome, everyone. I'm John Roethlisberger, and I'm joined by Olympian and NCAA champion Kelly Garrison. Kelly, good to be here with you. And I think, Kelly, when this schedule came out, I'm pretty sure everybody in the country, including these 2 teams, UCLA and Oklahoma, circled this date. It doesn't get, I will argue, it doesn't get any better than this. Number 5, UCLA, number 2, Oklahoma. What can we expect?
Well, I'll tell you what, tonight is going to be exciting to watch because it's not just a team competition, John, but it's also kind of an individual matchup. UCLA has the number 1 gymnast in the all-around in the country, Vanessa Zamarripa. And, of course, then OU has number 4 gymnast in the country with Taylor Spears. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong here. I mean, everyone in Oklahoma should be tuned in right now and actually across the country because you're going to see some outstanding gymnastics.
It's going to definitely be a prelude, I think, to the national championships.
Right.
And talking of individuals, our Chesapeake Energy gymnast to watch is actually Taylor Spears, and she's had quite a year. And really, if Oklahoma is going to excel, not just today, but the rest of the season, they're going to really rely on this girl.
They certainly will, and they already have. She has just been a key for the Sooners this year, and she has just blossomed as a gymnast. She's had the difficulty, but she has poise like you will not believe, and her lines are exactly what the judges are looking for. So get ready to watch some beautiful gymnastics.
Taylor Spears, our Chesapeake Energy Sooner gymnast to watch. She's going to be a lot of fun, and it's heating up in here. You feeling the heat a little bit? This jacket might have to come off because we're going to see a lot of great gymnastics. Number 5, UCLA. Number 2, Oklahoma, when we come back on Sooner Sports Television.
Thanks to our television cornerstone partners, Chesapeake Energy, WinStar World Resorts, OU Outreach, OU Presidents Associates, and the OU Alumni Association.
It is definitely getting warm inside as the Bruins and the Sooners both are getting ready and warming up their first event. And Kelly, we talked about this matchup, number 5, number 2. Both of these teams have kind of gotten here in different ways. Oklahoma has really come out of the gates quick and strong, and that's kind of by game plan from KJ Kindler. But UCLA, they've lost a couple key players. Sam Peshek, most notably, Olympian, injured this fall, and they've started off a little bit slow. They've kind of are starting to gain momentum, however.
They really have, and it's been interesting because when they started out number 1 ranked, I thought, oh boy, we're in trouble when they have number 5 coming in now. But I think it's going to be an exciting tonight to watch them and to see how they've had to dig deep and to see where they have made their adjustments.
Yeah, 2 very respected coaches. Val Condos Fields obviously has won 6 national titles. She's established herself historically. She is going to go down as one of the best coaches ever. KJ Kindler obviously has a great resume, but there's one kind of important thing missing, and it's something that I know she wants, and that's something that's not going to, her resume is not going to be completed until it happens, and that's a national title.
That's exactly what they want. And I talked to KJ, and she said, you know, it's great being runner-up, but there's nothing better than saying you're the national champion, and that's what OU demands out of all of their athletes and all their sports. And so they're looking for that national championship, but I tell you what it's going to come down to is sticking those landings on vault. You know, they all do big, powerful vaults, but they have got to, what I call, do the so there, your face, to the judge, landing. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
John.
absolutely. And here we got a taste of how Oklahoma's come out quick this year. 14 straight victories, undefeated this season. The last loss actually came at UCLA, which we could call this meet copyright James from the big payback, because I tell you what, KJ wants payback for sure for that loss, and they have 5 straight meets where they've scored above a 197, which is unbelievable. And we'll see if that streak can stay alive. We're going to go to KJ Kindler, who's going to give us a little bit of a preview of tonight's competition.
Their leader or an athlete that leads them is Vanessa Zamarripa. She's received 7 10s in her career, so we're talking about one of the best athletes in NCAA history. And you'll see it in her. She's unbelievably soft, and by that I mean she's so delicate and very easy with all her movements. It doesn't seem right that she can blast a vault through the roof or the things that she does, because she's just so delicate with everything she does. So they're led by her. She's phenomenal. She's the #1 all-arounder in the nation. So they have that, as well as an incredible roster. They have just amazing athletes on their team. They're very artistic, and what I meant by that was their choreography is very interesting and different, and kind of fun to watch, something that you might not expect. And they're just a great team overall. They have been for years. They have incredible traditions, 6 national championships, and it's just a very storied program.
And you heard it from the boss there, KJ Kindler. They are a very respected program, and they will bring it each night they come out. Here we look at the national all-around rankings, and at the top, as KJ was referencing, Vanessa Zamarripa has really, you know, as tight as those standings are, she's really been dominant. And we see an Olympian right behind her, and Bridget Sloan, 2008 Olympic medalist, and it's tough. We see a couple of Oklahoma Sooners here, Taylor Spears, as you mentioned, Kelly, right. Erica Brewer, and Bree Olson, and we don't want to slight them. You know, we're talking about Taylor Spears and Vanessa Zamarripa, but this meet could be won by any one of those gymnasts.
That's right. It all depends on the details, and vault's an easy place to either make it or break it. You take a step, you take a hop, the pop and the lift off the vaulting horse. So, you know, tonight we're starting out with Taylor Spears and going on to Madison Mooring. An exciting person to watch is Keely Kmiecek. She scored one of the highest in the nation this season. And then later, what's amazing is that OU is finishing with a freshman on vault. And so you can that right there tells you the depth and the talent that the Sooner team has.
And we saw that freshman, Haley Skaman, right there warm up her vault. I watched Oklahoma warming up vault earlier, Kelly, and my first reaction was they need to save that for competition. they were nailing those vaults one after the other, and as they did their one touch here, they started doing it again. I go, that must just be par for the course for the #2 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Well, I do think they like to practice like they compete, you know, and that is what it's all about. And they have a new girl into their lineup, and that's Mayliana Kaneva. Don't you love that? Kaneva. Like, you can never beat me.
I like that. I like that.
But she has been national champion in the junior Olympic program, and so I'm excited to watch her because she's new to the Sooner lineup.
Here we have the gymnasts competing for Oklahoma Sooners. You mentioned some of them: Madison Mooring, Keely Kmiecek, Miley Kaneva, Bree Olson, Haley Skaman, and Taylor Spears. A very stout vault lineup for the Oklahoma Sooners. They rank 6th in the country on the vault. They're very highly ranked on each event, actually, and that's what you get when you're the #2 team in the country.
And, you know, there's such a small difference between being ranked 6th and ranked 9th. Or, you know, like, for example, UCLA is ranked 5th and OU being ranked 2nd. But there's only 5/10 difference, and yet there's only 1/10 difference between 2nd and 1st. So every single 10th, or even half a 10th, counts.
Here we go with Taylor Spears, first up for Oklahoma.
Well, as you can see her approaching the vault, she's nice. Look at that, stuck landing. That's exactly what I've been trying to tell everybody.
I'm pretty sure I saw a hop in there, Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Don't be a homer out of the gate here. Come on now.
All right. Well,
no, that was an awesome vault, though. Great height off the table.
Here she goes. You can see it in the replay. Now we'll really know.
Beautiful
nice
in the air. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I must have blinked. That's exactly right.
It was a quick one.
All right.
Nonetheless, certainly going to be a big score. As we move over to the uneven bars for UCLA, they're starting that. Now, ironically, I watched them warm up the bars, and they looked like they were struggling a little bit. Here we have Danusia Francis starting off for the Bruins. She is a freshman out of Kenilworth, England, actually an alternate on the British Olympic team in 2012.
Here she's already gearing up for her dismount with a blindfold. Right into a double pike. Nice, solid routine. A good start-out routine for her and a stuck landing.
Absolutely the way you want to start if you're the Bruins. And I think in gymnastics, it's a lot of like putting your offense out on the field in football first. you want to get some first downs. You want to start moving the chains. And I think for the gymnast, you know, the first gymnast up, that's exactly what you want to do, move the chains. Taylor Spears' vault score, by the way, was a 9.8 as we take another look at Danuja's dismount. Perfect stuck double pike.
Right. Well, as we said from the beginning, this is going to be a tight competition. Every routine.
And here we have Madison Mooring with her vault. Moments ago, there's the replay.
Right. You notice that's a blind landing since she's just doing your Chinko half. And so to be able to spot that landing is difficult. And so you notice she, too, had a small hop.
That is a tough vault. And she actually stuck a couple of those in the warm-ups. I'm like, dang.
That's the one you wanted in competition, right?
Exactly.
I hate it when that happens.
That's the one you want to save. You can't win warm-ups, right?
No doubt.
Olivia Courtney next up for the Bruins on the uneven bars, junior from Fairfax, Virginia, out of Orlando Metro Gymnastics, very well-known gymnastics club in Florida.
Right, she is a real talent. See her on the bars is required to do release moves, transitioning from one bar to the next bar. Looks like she might have missed a connection right there, but judges probably shouldn't take off too much.
It looks like she scrambled a little bit there in the middle of the routine to keep things going.
Yeah. Really, ooh, a pretty big dismount though. We don't see that very often.
Great angle at the dismount coming right at you. Her teammate Danuja Francis got a 9.8 on that first routine. I'm guessing this one might be a little bit lower with that little glitch in the middle of the routine.
Right. You know, it's always different when you're performing out of state, not on your home turf.
Back to the vault. And that's Keely Kamichek.
She knows. She's like, that's it. I rocked it. You know it. Give me the score.
So
Keely's
Oklahoma.
a freshman, and she has really come on for the Sooners this year. I call her the silent weapon.
I like it. And she is actually competing in the all-around tonight. She is not ranked nationally in the all-around, but certainly, given the depth of Oklahoma, I suspect she may be in that battle for the all-around title as well as we get another look at her vault. Coach Randy Lane from UCLA giving a few final tips to our next gymnast for the Bruins on the uneven bars. That's Maddie Larson.
You know, Maddie was a U.S. World Championship team member and silver medalist. And so one thing I have noticed about the UCLA lineup is they are just stacked with a lot of history and a lot of great international gymnasts. And so Valerie Condos-Fields does an outstanding job recruiting. You can tell that.
Yeah, they come from all over the world.
No doubt.
Olympians from Canada, from Great Britain, from the Netherlands, and obviously with Maddie in the United States as well.
Well, here she starts a routine. Nice toe off to handstand. Overshoot handstand. You know, the judges are really looking for them to hit the exact handstand position. It's kind of hard to see from that angle. It's an interesting angle. Here, this is a little bit better. Just shy of the handstand. But no less still. Oh, unfortunate. Look at that. That was really unfortunate. You know, John, with their knees hitting like that, would you consider that a 5/10 reduction or a 3?
You know, you leave yourself open, and it is one thing the coaches always told us: don't leave yourself open for deductions. As we're quickly back over to Miley Kaneva on the vault.
Now, this is the first time she has competed as a Sooner, so you know she is excited. She's so happy.
Unbelievable. She's following up a 9.925 from her teammate Keely. An interesting story from Miley. This is her first competition. She had a hand injury, and she just came back, and she was cleared just this week.
Right.
And I think the rest of the team is like, wow.
Right.
3 days of getting ready for this meet, and she's ready to rock it out. They call her the Flying Hawaiian. And she's originally from Minnesota, so I don't know how somebody who's called the Flying Hawaiian gets to Minnesota, but unbelievable start for her and the Sooners on vault.
Well, I think we're going to see some of that all night long. You know, they have depth in every event, and every kid has something to offer. And that's what's so great about watching gymnastics. You see talent in all different capacities. You know, some strength, some flexibility, some dance. The one that puts it all together is usually that champion. You know, right here, they're waiting for the judge to salute. And it's kind of hard when you're standing there and waiting, you're ready to go. And you just have to learn to take a deep breath and and get ready.
Olivia Courtney, by the way, a 9.825, so I was wrong. Her score actually went up from the first gymnast, and this is Sofina de Jesus. Her coaches call her a performer.
Well, we'll see why. You know, sometimes it's just nice to watch the routines and enjoy the beauty of the sport. Here she gears up. These are called power giants, right into her dismount. Now, they have figured out how to stick that landing. Right there, those little non-deductions for them is really going to count. So we will find out at the very end of the competition by how much.
Back over to the vault. Here's senior Bree Olson, coming off a all-around victory last weekend at the Perfect 10 Challenge.
Nice, Yurchenko full. And once again,
I think that scream is code for happy.
she's definitely excited. Everyone is. You know, it doesn't count in warm-ups. Like you said earlier, if you win the warm-ups, it just doesn't matter. You know, only mommy's happy when you win the warm-ups.
Yeah, exactly. Coach gets happy, but I think it might make him more nervous. Can they do that again in the competition?
Sometimes I wanted to, like, mess up during
Get you a little more focused, right?
You know, because I thought, man, if I hit now, what am I going to do in the meet?
Exactly. As we look at Lachelle Wong getting ready to go on the uneven bars. Maddie Larson, by the way, a 9.15, followed up by Sofina de Jesus' 9.85. So they do have 3 scores. As much as they've had a few mistakes with Maddie's dismount, they do have 3 good scores so far. And hopefully if Lachelle and the last gymnast Vanessa can put together good routines, they should be okay after this event.
Now this gymnast is just beautiful, beautiful to watch on bars. You can see her style and the different types of skills that she does. Beautiful release move right to the handstand. Casting up to the high bar. Preparing for dismount. Oh.
Beautiful.
Really, really nice.
She actually just learned that double layout, Kelly. She is struggling with her old dismount, and as a senior decided, all right, I'm going to change my dismount going into my senior year. And coaches said she worked her tail off getting that double layout. Back over to the vault. This is Haley Skaman rounding out the Oklahoma Sooners lineup.
Just that one step. But Haley, she's got it going for the Sooners. I can tell you that right now. She is the future of women's gymnastics at Oklahoma.
And she's out of IGI, which is a great gymnastics club owned by Todd Gardner in the Chicago, Illinois area. Another look at that Yurchenko 1.5. And I tell you what, if she would have stuck that vault, that was going to be a 10 because Oklahoma Sooners have put together 3 9.925s in a row. Keely, Miley, and Bree all put 9.925s up. They are going to have a huge score on the vault.
Well, they're going to have a lot of competition with this next young lady because Vanessa Zamarripa, who's ranked #1 in the country, she has scored 7 10s already this year. And having scored a 10 myself, and you know, you two, you know, it's not easy to do. And for her to have already scored 7, unbelievable.
Well, she's going to need a big score right here if they're going to keep it relatively close to Oklahoma. I know it's only the first event, but they're basically giving up a 10th a routine. With those 9 9s that Oklahoma's put up and the 9 8s that UCLA has put up. A 10 would be exactly what the doctor ordered for UCLA right here.
You look, you will see her body line is unbelievable. Beautiful stalder. Right to the handstand, all the way, her toe point. This kid is just wow, right there. Just in your face, I hit the handstand, no question asked. Right into the dismount, double leg, and a stuck landing.
I mean, I'm struggling finding a deduction, Kelly, I'm going to be honest.
I know.
It's funny because I go back to what KJ said about her being what she said soft, and that can come across as an insult if you're not careful, but it's not. You can see every cast, it's just smooth. It's soft, but it goes right to the handstand. Her positions are just smooth, and soft is a good adjective, but man, that routine was rock solid.
I know it. I'll be very curious to see the score because, you know, normally in gymnastics they build the scores, and so if you start out with a 9.8, 9.9, and it builds to 9.9, 9.95, and then straight to a 10. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, especially not on home turf, to see what that score ends up being for her.
At home, if she had followed a 9.95, it's going to go 10. But the judges have a hard time. I don't know if it's a psychological thing, like you mentioned, going from a 9.825 that her teammate got to all the way to a 10. They, for some reason, think that you can't do that. But In collegiate women's gymnastics, that's about as perfect a bar routine as you're going to find.
Well, that's what's fun when you have a matchup like a number 5 and a number 2 is because you get to see quality gymnastics. And so if you're a gymnastics fan, that's what you want, you know? It's the best of the best.
UCLA has one more gymnast to go. This is Kaylee Bear. She's actually competing exhibition. This is kind of a benefit to these teams to just kind of build the depth of your roster and give them some experience going into the latter part of the season, which for UCLA, you know, they've needed a lot of that. We talked about how they had a relatively slow start, which is ironic because they only have one loss and they're 5th ranked, but they've had a lot of injuries. So a lot of other gymnasts have had to step up, and this is an opportunity for Kaylee to get in the lineup.
That's right. And Kaylee was injured for 2 years straight, and so she competed last year, but this is her senior year. Oh, crap. That's too bad. You know, I used to watch Kaylee work out when I lived in Indiana, and she was training up there at DeVos Gymnastics, and she is really a hard worker and really smart kid. So I think she'll come back from this fine. She shows a lot of courage.
And through some of the struggles this year, the coaching staff has said that Kaylee's really been a vocal leader when needed to help kind of rally the team. And as you mentioned, a hard worker, overcome a lot of injuries the first couple of years at UCLA, but here she is as a senior contributing to the team.
Just not tough front half. You don't see that very often, but it's a nice dismount. It's fun to see that, a little diversity in these routines.
Just to give you an update, Vanessa Zamarripa, a 9.925 for that uneven bars. I think Kelly and I were hoping for a 10, but a good start for her and a decent start for both of these teams as the first event is in the books. When we come back, more gymnastics from the Lloyd Noble Center and the University of Oklahoma. Welcome back to Oklahoma Women's Gymnastics on Sooner Sports Television, presented by Chesapeake Energy. The first event is in the books, and it was a great one for Oklahoma. They came out and they nailed their vaults, and they actually put up a season-high team score for that event, 49.525. And he could have even been better. You know, Haley Skaman, she did a great vault, but I know she's kicking herself for that step on the landing. She nails that vault. That score is through the roof. But nonetheless, great start for the Oklahoma Sooners. Meanwhile, UCLA on the uneven bars actually had one mistake, but you know what? They put up a decent score, a 49.225 for the Bruins, and actually just off of their season high of a 49.3, so not a bad start. Certainly keeps them in the game, and certainly looking to maybe pick up some points as they head into their next event, Kelly, the vault.
That's right, and you know, it's difficult when there's a fall, and you have to compete right next because of there's 5 scores count, and so your score's going to count, you know it, and so you have to hit, that's all there is to it.
KJ Kindler talked a little bit about Oklahoma and the uneven bars.
On uneven bars, this is an event we've definitely been pushing to improve on. Last meet was our best performance from top to bottom, so I think we're on the upward swing on that event. I've been seeing it in practice as well. They're very on point. They're going after every little tenth, and that's what we need them to do on that event.
As we see the current varsity cheer squad. Oh wait, no, that's not the varsity. That's the JV squad. No, we got some future varsity cheerleaders from Oklahoma. They are cute as a button.
Aren't they? Well, maybe they're going to share some spirit, but I think the crowd is pretty into it already, but this is fun to watch.
Very good crowd here today at the Lloyd Noble Center. Now, going into the second event, you know, vault is an event where you have an opportunity to get bigger scores. When you're comparing vault scores to uneven bar scores, I think on average, you know, vault's going to score higher. And it's only by the nature of the event. There's basically one skill you're doing on vault.
That's right.
And there's not that many opportunities for the judges to take deductions. Meanwhile, on the bars, you talked about all those handstand angles. You still have the landing on the dismount. So I think, can we expect UCLA maybe to close that gap a little bit on this rotation?
Well, you know, they can try, but, you know, UCLA is ranked 9th in the country on vault, and Oklahoma is ranked 3rd on the bars. And so, you know, the Sooners are ready. They're prepared. I mean, KJ Kindler and Lou Ball, they do a fantastic job to get their team ready. I've noticed that all year long, just following them, home meets, away meets, they're ready to go. So, but like you said, John, you know, all you got to do is vault. do a vault, stick it.
Stick a few landings, and it's going to tighten up.
Close ball game, right?
We just got word that Vanessa Zamarippa's score got changed to a 9.95. Still not the 10 that you wanted, Kelly. I mean, I will put that protest in, but I'm not sure that they're going to change it anymore. So 9.95 for Vanessa Zamarippa on that outstanding uneven bars routine.
You know, I noticed her wiggling her hand when she first cast, and I thought maybe she was supposed to do a pirouette. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't.
And so I thought, well, it's not really a deduction of where they could take it, but maybe it was the impression. You know how this sport is.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on what the judges think.
I mean, if they're going to be that nitpicky, I'm telling you what, we're gonna put that protest in. So Oklahoma, we saw them getting ready on the bars. Here are the gymnasts competing on the uneven bars: Rebecca Clark, Haley Skaman, Keely Kmichek, Erica Brewer, Bree Olson, and Taylor Spears. As you mentioned, number 3rd ranked team in the country. You know, KJ talked about trying to, the way her tone was in that little soundbite made it sound like they weren't that good on bars. You know, it's forever the critic if you're the coach.
Right.
But, I mean, they're legit. Their high score, you know, a 49.525 on the season, which is outstanding.
Well, it'll be fun to watch. Each athlete brings their own part to the rotation and to bars. So it'll be fun to watch them.
And that right there is the look of determination. Rebecca Clark from Blue Springs, Missouri.
Rebecca has an interesting skill in her routine. It's I talked to Lou, and he told me that no one else in the country is doing the skill. It's a toe on, toe off, full pirouette. And so I'll make sure and point it out when she does it. But, you know, that's what the Sooners do, is they bring that diversity and originality to each routine, and that's kind of what makes them stand out. And that's one thing I love.
We can see that knee brace that Rebecca's wearing. She missed actually the second half of last year with a knee injury. Obviously, she's back on bars for the team this year. Rebecca comes out of a great gymnastics program in Missouri, Gage, that has produced a couple Olympians that you may know, Courtney McCool and Taryn Humphrey, who are outstanding on the 2004 Olympic team. So she comes from a great pedigree, and certainly hoping to get Oklahoma off on the right foot here on the uneven bars.
Well, here she is preparing, and you know, when the crowd goes wild like that, it either kind of, as an athlete, you kind of get pumped up, or you have totally blocked it out. You know, are you in the zone, or do you feed off of that? And,
what kind of gymnast were you? Were you loving the sound, or were you in your own little world?
You know, it depended on the event. Like when I on balance beam, I could hear it. You know, that's when you're supposed to be in the zone. Now here we go to vault. Oh.
Here we quickly over to the vault with Dana McDonald, first gymnast up for UCLA. A nice start, similar to the way OU started their first vaulter. Did the Yurchenko full with a small hop, so expect to see around that 9.8 score most likely, Kelly.
I also saw a little bit of a pike down. So all those are small deductions that tell the judge it wasn't quite high enough if I had to pike down.
Quickly over to the uneven bars. We're moving quick here. Rebecca Clark has started.
So far, so good. Already gearing up for the dismount, going to the high bar. Here's that move I was telling you about. Beautiful finishing right in the handstand. Oh, and sticking that landing. So hard for me not to get excited. I guess you heard that little, oh.
You can get excited.
Okay,
there's no rules against that.
All right, that's my way.
So again, a similar start for Oklahoma that UCLA had. A good, clean routine with a stuck dismount. The way you want to come out of the gate, can they carry it through the next 5 routines? So we go over to the vault for UCLA. Lachelle Wong getting ready to go. She had a nice bar routine, scored a 9.825 on that event.
As we mentioned earlier, this gymnast is from Holland. Oh, that was a nice ball.
That was
nice
a big
clean.
Yurchenko, and
yeah.
she's a taller girl, so she really looks like she gets some amplitude coming off that table. Another look at the...
Yeah, you can see the lift and the repulsion off of the horse. And the judges look to see how much higher you are coming up off of the vaulting surface.
Our second look today at Haley Skaman. She gets ready to go on the uneven bars.
Haley has just been such a wonderful addition to the center team. You know, a lot of freshmen they have lots of things to deal with the moving away from home and classes and new schedules and finding that balance, and she has certainly balanced it out just right. Here she goes to her dismount. Beautiful full in, stuck landing. She just does it with ease. Do you see that? Just, I mean, confidence, no fear. I may name her No Fear Girl.
And you know what, the coaching staff had talked about her earlier today, and they said she is tough. She doesn't complain, she just works hard, and she's a tough kid. And so far today, she's bringing it.
Well, it's fun to watch, isn't it?
Quickly over to the vault, Alyssa Pritchett.
Another high vault, you know, that's hard when you're in competition and you get so excited, you know, you get that extra adrenaline, especially on vault, and that you don't normally have. And so all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm higher than I'm usually am, and I'm going faster and I'm more powerful. And so a lot of times that's what caused that extra hop on the landing. And
Alyssa was thrown in there. They had a lineup change. Maddie Larson, who had that mistake on her bar dismount, was taken out of the vault lineup. Alyssa was put in. Not sure if it's related to that bar dismount or not, but not bad for being thrust into the lineup there at the last second. As Keely Kamichek gets ready to go on the uneven bars, third gymnast up for OU. She's following a 9.9 and a 9.875 from the first two gymnasts, Rebecca Clark and Haley Skaman.
Ooh, a little close to the bar, but she was able to pull it out. You know, sometimes you get rattled when you start off and you kind of have a near miss, you might call it. But, you know, she's the OU silent weapon I mentioned earlier. Didn't bother her one bit.
Not bad. And she is an all-around contender tonight, too, so we got to keep an eye on her as well.
You know, when I watch her practice, she is so serious. I mean, I've asked the coaches, I'm like, is she okay? Is she happy? And they're like, that's her. She's serious. She wants to win.
A 9.725 for Alyssa Pritchett as Kaylee Bear begins her vault.
Wow.
Ooh, looked like she stuck it. She kind of turned quick out of that landing. What do you think?
It's
You
kind
give
of
it to
hard
her?
to see from this angle, but you know, she is a veteran on vault. She's been vaulting for the Bruins all season long, and so she knows how to, if she has to turn early, she knows how to do that. I was hoping for a replay.
You're going to have to do it in your head.
All right, maybe we'll see it again. Maybe not. Maybe I'll dream about it tonight.
I think there's going to be, yeah, that was a pretty good vault. That's one to dream about. That's not a bad one. Erica Brewer getting ready to go on the uneven bars. And ironically enough, Erica's ranked 9th in the all-around for Oklahoma, not doing the all-around tonight. Otherwise, it might get real crowded at the top of those all-around standings.
No kidding. She's also ranked 5th on this event. She's what I call is the wow factor for the Sooners. You know, everyone's got one, and this is theirs. She's got spunk and energy and pizzazz. You see it on every event. You also see it in her smile. Look at this Giants rate. Oh,
come on, dig those toes in, girl. Come on, dig them in there.
Wow. You know, both of us being gymnasts, it's hard not to just want to sit down for her right there. Just kind of sit.
She just bails out of that. You can see her put her arms up, and she has plenty of time to see the ground. Olivia Courtney for UCLA next up on vault.
Looks like a bunch of power about to happen right here. Look at that run. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I think she pretty much got about a meter further out on that landing. That was huge.
Well,
Yurchenko
it kind of reminds me, I'm going to show my age here, but, you know, even though Mary Lou didn't do the Yurchenko entry, it was her type of vault. You know, she could, they would have to bring in additional mats for her to vault because she would travel so high and so far and then stick it. And she was just this adorable, cute little thing.
Bree Olson from St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Bree has been a rock for the Sooners. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Isn't that original? It's an in-bar delta.
I got to ask you a question as soon as she's done about that release.
All right. You know, she's got energy in her gymnastics. Wow. Okay.
Oklahoma is bringing the hammer.
She says
unbelievable.
She did the so there.
There was the release move again. My question was, what happens when she misses? What if she goes a little too far away, like we've seen a lot of gymnasts do before? That low bar is just waiting for you. I mean, is that not a little sketchy?
Well, you know what? She's that consistent. You know, if it was an iffy, then maybe a coach might be standing there, but there's no need. She's got it. She's good.
Back over to the vault, and this is the queen, Vanessa Zamarripa. Hold on to your sodas in the stands. It's going to be big.
Wow! Unbelievable to see the flare from her hands. Unfortunately, that won't be a 10 because you could see her landing.
That is the biggest. That is the biggest Yurchenko I've seen in college gymnastics ever.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was doing a little research on this gal, and I thought, okay, yeah. So she's hit some 10s. Now I know exactly why not many people are high enough. They have to flare out before they land.
And you know that flare, I talked to Chris Waller about that, assistant coach for UCLA, and he said they're trying to work on the Zameskel. And if you've ever watched Kim Zameskel back in 1990, 91, 92, she did this Yurchenko full, and she arched out like that flare you're talking about, spotted the floor, and she could stick it like no other. And Chris brought out some old videos of Kim Zameskel, and he's been trying to teach his girls the Zameskel. Open it up, look for the landing, and Zamarripa, man, I tell you what, I'm not trying to play favorites. I would have loved to seen a stuck landing right there. That would have been a 10 for sure.
Right.
Taylor Spears starting out on the uneven bars.
Well, Taylor's ranked number 14 in the country, and as I mentioned earlier, she has these beautiful lines, beautiful toe point, and you know, the judges, they judge, they train by looking at these little stick figures in a book, and she's that, I mean, that sounds awful, but it's really a compliment. She's that girl. And in a very original dismount double Arabian, she's right on.
Another look at that dismount.
I mean, a tiny hop. You can tell she's so excited. I love that. I love it.
Oklahoma, so far, 12 for 12 in this competition. Haven't really given anything more than maybe a step on the landing, Kelly. They have looked outstanding. UCLA still hanging right in there. Olivia Courtney and Vanessa Zamarripa finished that vault rotation with a pair of 9.9s, which are great. Unfortunately, so far, Oklahoma has put up 4 scores of 9.9 plus, and Taylor Spears looks like she might have put up the 5th 9.9. So we'll see what the judges do with that as we see Hayden Ward getting ready to compete exhibition for Oklahoma on the uneven bars.
Well, it is hard when you're looking at, you know, you think 9.9, great. Oh, that's good. Maybe 1 or 2. But to win nationals, you have to have an average of 9.9, 9.95. That's all there is to it. And it's just a different ball game these days.
It is. It's ridiculously competitive.
It is, which is a good thing, but it's pretty demanding on these girls. But they love it. Unfortunately, took a fall there on her Takachev, which is a required release move.
You never want to have a fall, but if you're Oklahoma and you had to have one of them, it's going to be your exhibition, I think. But unfortunate for Hayden, because I know this is experience for her, and she wants to show the coaches that she can do it in front of a crowd.
Well, another thing, Hayden's a local girl, and she is trained by probably the best gym in the region, and certainly in Oklahoma, Dynamo Gymnastics. And Hayden has just been a standout, not just locally, but nationally. But you know, people in the stands, because she's local, they are pulling for her, and they want her to do well.
I don't know about you, Kelly, but I hated that feeling when you fall off a piece of equipment and you got to get back up. It's hard to get yourself fired up to finish the routine. Hayden finishes strong.
Do-over. Can I mulligan? Yeah.
Can I mulligan? Unfortunately, they don't have those in gymnastics, which is what makes the sport so incredibly tough, is you don't get do-overs. You get one shot to put it together.
Well, that's the real challenge of our sport.
So 2 events down, and Oklahoma Sooners seem to be well on their way to the 6th 197 plus. We're halfway done here in Oklahoma at the Lloyd Noble Center. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Two events are in the books here at the Lloyd Noble Center. I'm John Roethlisberger, joined by Kelly Garrison. And for UCLA, they've had 2 good events, put up a 98.55, but Oklahoma They have come out and they are on fire, a 99.1, and they have put up 2 scores that are season best on their first 2 events. And if you're UCLA, I mean, it's like not fair. As we look at the Oklahoma Sooners score of 49.575, they best their season best by a half a tenth. And top to bottom, you know, not a lot of places that you can improve. Maybe a couple stuck landings, but what a start for Oklahoma.
Well, I think that's exactly what KJ Kindler has been looking for from this team. And, you know, what a fine time to be doing it. Mid-season, you know, getting closer to nationals, building confidence, and saying, look, I mean, for the OU to win a national championship, they have to have scores like that, and they have to know that they can beat the Floridas of the world, who have the higher scores already. They're ranked #1 in the country. It's not just about beating UCLA today. And yeah, that's still going to be a strong challenge, but and it looks like right now is okay, but you know, we still have balance beam, the make it or break it event, even though OU is ranked #1 in the country.
And here's UCLA's score, 49.3 on the vault. Another very good score for them, you know, just off their season best. They've 2 events now. They've just narrowly missed their season best, but you know, when Oklahoma's on fire like they are, it's tough for the Bruins to hang with them, but it's still very close. There's a lot of gymnastics yet to go, and certainly UCLA is not out of the running to win this. And so we're going to go to KJ Kindler. Oklahoma is going to the balance beam. Let's see what KJ Kindler has to say about that event.
You know, balance beam has been phenomenal for us this season. We're ranked #1 in the country on that event. We have just a very steady Eddie group. You know, they are very, they attack balance beam. They're very aggressive, and they love to compete beam. And you can see that in the way they attack it. So still, you know, still moving ahead on that event, still knocking out some 9.9s, which is always good. Came close to a 10 this year. I'd love to see that happen from Taylor Spears or Erica Brewer. There's probably 4 athletes in that group who could potentially get a 10. Bree Olson, and Keely's done an amazing job leading us on that event.
About the only thing we haven't seen is a 10-0 tonight, and we can see where the team rankings are for both of these squads, both highly ranked, top 10 on every event. We talked about how competitive women's gymnastics is. To be a top 10 on each event is amazing, and Oklahoma, first on beam, 2 third places. I mean, they're bringing it this year for sure.
They are, and it's amazing that they start out with a freshman on the balance beam. You know, most people are scared to death to go first, and so because you always want that gymnast to be solid, 100%, you know they're going to hit, so the rest of the girls will feel confident going into their routine too. Right here we see Keely. She's preparing for her dismount. Nice double tuck dismount. Like I told you, she is just effortless on the balance beam. We might get to see a replay of some of her elements.
Yeah, we caught her right in the middle of that routine, but obviously you can tell by the reaction of the Oklahoma Sooners, it was a good one. And KJ talked about the beam and getting 10. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather run through a pack of dogs with bologna-flavored underwear than get up on that 4-inch wide beam, Kelly. That thing scares the death out of me.
Well, the balance beam was always my favorite event, so I can't say I understand what you're coming from, because, you know, there's just a sense of control and being able to go out and do and perform and flip and twist and, you know, be able to balance. There's just some of us have a gift to be able to do it, and some don't.
Dana McDonald for UCLA starting them off on the floor exercise.
And let me tell you about the floor and UCLA. Their coach, Valerie Condis-Field, comes from a classical dance background, and I have watched her for years. She was coaching even when I competed in the late 80s. But she is a phenomenal choreographer, and she brings such diversity. And I asked her going into tonight in warm-ups, how does she come up with her ideas? Because year after year, it will be so difficult to change and not feel like you're creating the same routine.
Big jump, find it.
But you can see that she told me just by watching video, watching former gymnasts, years past, knew not just gymnastic routines, but all types of choreography. I think you can see it here in her performance. It's not the standard classical gymnast. It's also not the kind of the bebop, you know, fun, but a clean routine. And unique choreography. Look at that. It's different, isn't it?
I like it.
Well, if you've ever been to a gymnastic meet, and especially a compulsory meet, and the routines are all the same, one after one after one,
yeah.
you know, you're like, really? Do I have to endure this any longer? And so it is so great when kids start optionals and you get to watch it. So hang in there, parents. If you're watching and you have a daughter that's a compulsory level gymnast, it does get better.
Quickly over to the balance beam and Lauren Alexander.
Now, this is the kid to watch. When the first time I saw her in practice on balance beam, I looked at KJ and I just said, she has a gift. She's not only beautiful to watch, she's confident. She's, you know, just got poise and grace.
Great shot down the beam of what these gymnasts are dealing with. 4 inches wide.
Remind you exactly what, that's right, remind you that's 4 inches. Wow. She had a slight bobble, so unfortunately I was really hoping for a 10 from her tonight because it is so in her. I mean, I don't know, I might bet you a Coke that she'll get a 10 this season.
I don't want to take you up on that because I might agree with you.
She's flexible. She has a very unique history. You know, she came to OU and then couldn't decide really whether or not she wanted to do gymnastics, so she took a year off. And then came back, and this is what we get.
That's not easy to do, to stop gymnastics. It's not like golf where you can dust off the clubs in the spring and you're right where you left off.
See, she had it all. She had the stuckness spout, but unfortunately she had a slight...
I didn't see the wobble, Kelly. I mean, what do you got the binoculars out up here or what? That looked good to me.
Well, being a beam girl myself, I am a little critical, looking for that perfect 10. It's got to be right on.
Her teammate Keely Kamichek, by the way, started out with only a 9.9 for Oklahoma, so they are just picking up. If they get a high score on this event for the season, I'm pretty much going to I'm going to start putting on my OU and yelling Boomer Sooner because this team is unstoppable. UCLA getting ready to go. Sadika Bynum, our first chance to see her today.
I'm always so interested to see the choreography when I watch UCLA.
Sophomore out of Berkeley, California.
This girl just kind of screams power when I see her run. Look at that beautiful double pike. Reminds me of a former gymnast from UCLA, Miss Kim Hamilton. National champion on floor. Oh, that is so unfortunate. And I don't exactly know what happened there.
Yeah, it looked like the first flip, the layout floated a little bit on her.
It looks to me like she seems to be a little rattled from that. You know, it is hard. When you fall, your brain sometimes just goes into a different place because you're like, okay, how can I make that up? What can I do different? How much am I going to be deducted? Because not only is it a 5/10 deduction, but then also you might miss your bonus connection. These girls start from a 9.5, and then they have to also gain 0.5 in tenths of their bonus. And so a lot of those tumbling passes are that bonus combination. So when they miss that, it's more than a 5/10 fall.
Sadika is one of those gymnasts that the coaching staff talked about needing to step up. When the others had injuries, Sam Peshek, Peng Lee, who is an outstanding gymnast for Canada, is hurt, and they're out. So a lot of gymnasts had to step up, and Sadika has been one of those gymnasts that has really pulled their stuff together right before the season started. Unfortunately, that routine, not what she hoped for, but overall really been an important part of this UCLA squad.
There it is.
It just looked like her feet were a little too far in front of her when she went into that front full, and I've been there. I used to do those bounding passes, and
Right.
I was terrible at them.
Oh,
I can commiserate right there.
I don't believe that.
I was. I hate to admit it.
Okay, 3-time Olympian, thanks.
Quickly over to the balance beam, Bree Olson.
You know, Bree has had to work really hard to get into this lineup. And I've watched Bree since she was about 9 years old, and she is a hard worker and determined. Most people think, no, don't worry about it. Don't make the lineup. And she's like, oh, no, I am. Thank you.
and she is determined. Interesting story, last year at the Big 12 Championship, she competed all around for the very first time in her entire career, and she won. She is the defending Big 12 all-around champion. Quite a story.
Now watch this dismount. You got to be right on to do this. Aerial right into a full.
Are they going to give her a stuck landing on that? I kind of moved a little quick.
You know,
that's a technique in gymnastics, by the way. If you're leaning back, you quickly turn to the judge. I stuck that. I totally stuck. Quick turn.
Okay, you're supposed to show control. I think we all know that, but it really, you know, we do compete in a subjective sport. So one judge is going to take it, and another judge is not.
Sofina De Jesus on the floor exercise, and this is the performer
right.
that we talked about in her choreography and dance. Outstanding.
Yeah, Valerie Condes was telling me that she used to perform in the TV show in LA. I don't remember exactly the name of it now, but she said, you better just get ready when you watch her perform. You know, sometimes it is just nice to watch.
Yep.
You know, enjoy the theme. Valerie told me also, each girl is given a theme for her floor routine, a character that she is trying to emulate and to show the audience through her movement. And the funny thing is, right before Christmas break, they have to dress up in their character and show everyone. So I thought that was a very creative way to help the girls feel the movement a little bit better. You can see it in their performance. I'm
kind of disappointed we don't know what the characters are now, Kelly. I mean, you threw it out there. I want to know what do we got going on here?
I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe she's Kelly Garrison. Maybe that's her theme.
You think? Maybe she's an African dancer. That's kind of what I was feeling with the drum beat.
Outstanding. Gets things back on track for UCLA. They can't afford another miss on the floor exercise, and Sofina delivers.
Nice full and a half punch front layout. Now here's this Erica Brewer, and she is dynamite on balance beam. As KJ mentioned, she could score. She could be one of the girls that scores a 10. And you'll see why in her beginning tumbling pass. Not many kids do this nationally in NCAA. Look at that, rock solid. Kind of reminds you of Kim's Muscle, doesn't it? Yeah. Now, nationally, they do it in the JO or the Olympic program or the international program. But when you get to college, sometimes they might water down. Not her.
Bree Olson, a 9.9 for the last gymnast up.
Well, I'm glad the judges are seeing it that way, too. Once again, another skill that not many gymnasts in the NCAA level do, and it's a round-off double-back dismount. You know, that step might have been the difference between a 9.9 and a 10 or 9.95. So obviously they can't throw a 10 with a step. So
not a lot of room for error on a round-off double-back off the end of the beam.
That's right.
Oklahoma continues to just be automatic. Get ready for the floor exercise. Next gymnast up for UCLA, the number 13th ranked gymnast on the floor exercise, all Pac-10 second team, Alyssa Pritchett.
We're about to find out why she's ranked number 13. Wow, look at that.
Beautiful full twist and double tuck. Do not see a lot of those in women's college gymnastics.
You know, she did it. She just kind of ran into it like half-heartedly, I thought. Oh, what is she going to do? Double full, maybe? Looks out a full in. Impressive. Full and a half punch front layout. I love the combination of starting backwards and then finishing forward. That's what we're wanting to show the judges. She's just a little spring out there. You know, John, now I'm starting to think of that character character thing too. Like, what do you think about this one?
We're gonna have to bring that out next year.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even want to guess.
You know, it's a great way, though, for a lot of club gymnasts to train and to learn is by watching these college gymnasts. They don't understand why, how come they perform, how come they smile? And it's because they envelop this character, and it helps them perform when they don't feel like smiling, or they don't feel like showing emotion or expression in the routine. Very nice job.
Another look at the mount.
Look at that.
2 flips with a twist within. Done, like you said, very easily. Back over to the balance beam and Madison Mooring, following a 9.95 for Erica Brewer.
Wow. Madison is also just a beauty to watch on balance beam. She is ranked number 14 in the country. She also has those long lines. Beautiful gymnast, having trained in Tulsa and then also here at Dynamo Gymnastics in Oklahoma City. Front aerial, small balance check. You know, one thing that we have tonight that the audience should really appreciate is some unique choreography on balance beam and floor exercise. I mean, I know we're competing the number 5 and the number 1, but it's not just skills. I mean, this is a unique situation to have this much quality gymnastics and choreography combined with their difficulty in one setting. She goes right into the dismount. Little too much power on the dismount, but it's better than too little power, right?
Yeah. Coming right into your living room. Here's the dismount again.
Next up, floor, UCLA.
Well, and again, it's a hit routine. I mean, the balance beam is kind of a make it or break it event. And so you can get rattled pretty easily, but the centers doesn't seem to bother them.
And for Oklahoma, really, it's a matter of just staying on at this point because they're in control of this meet. Unless they give it away to UCLA, it's going to be tough for them to lose as we go over to the floor exercise. And Vanessa Zamarripa, number 1 in the country.
Beautiful double pike. She's just a delight to watch. I love that she is out there just smiling, kind of like she's just playing around. Like, watch me. This is fun floor music, isn't it?
Great, I love that move she just did down the side there. Very unique.
Cute.
Her coaches did say she came into the season with just a different maturity, and she's really found a way to have fun and smile and get the team to have fun and relax, but when the time comes and the lights go on, she gets the job done at the same time.
You know, I'm almost speechless. All I want to do is watch her. I don't really want to talk over it. Flirting with the audience. It's fun. It's in a good way. Like, did you hear I'm number 1?
And Vanessa Zamarripa doing what Vanessa Zamarripa does, putting up big routines and big scores. Her teammate Alyssa Pritchett got a 9.9 right before her. I suspect the scores might go up for this one.
Here she goes into, I guess, oh yeah, her last only pass front. Rudy.
Quickly over to the beam, and this is Taylor Spears.
Now Taylor's really come on because she is now ranked number 3 in the country on balance beam. This move is just beautiful, and a nodie right into a back handspring swing down. You'll notice you hear music in the background, and that really helps ease the mind of the gymnast. When you're up on the balance beam, you don't really want to hear just dead quiet because sometimes it might catch you off guard. You might hear a baby crying in the stands. When I was on beam, sometimes I would be doing a move and you'd hear the crowd go, ooh, or ah. And it was pleasant, but it also it's very helpful to have the music in the background. She just looks like she's dancing on the floor, not on 4 inches. Back handspring. Gainer full off the side. She's like, yeah, I did that. Take that to the bank and cash it.
Like we said, it's automatic for Oklahoma tonight. They just seem to be on, not nervous, solid. Really, for them, it's whether they stick the landing or not. The routines have been immaculate.
John, you are exactly right. I noticed the same thing.
Danusia Francis, freshman from Great Britain on the floor exercise.
Wow.
Vanessa Zamarripa, a 9.95. That's how I watch television, actually, at night, Kelly.
Now, I could probably say that, but not you. You know, this girl is just unique. Not only in her dance, but her tumbling the whip right into double pike. I feel like I'm kind of watching a theatrical performance, and when I was talking to their coach in warm-up, she said, you know, our sport is called artistic gymnastics, and it's so nice to see that she is keeping that part alive in our sport. Now, the flexibility on this girl is really unbelievable. Kind of reminds me of the Chinese circus. Wow. She was the alternate for the British Olympic team in 2012. Getting ready for her last time pass. Nice double tuck. Oops. Couple extra steps. I'll tell you what, it has been fun to see the variety of choreography and of routines tonight. You know, floor music is not supposed to have words to it, but that music almost sounded like someone was singing along, and it's just the music.
Rebecca Clark, sophomore, getting ready to perform her exhibition beam routine. And from the #1 beam team in the country, Oklahoma Sooners, I suspect even their exhibition is going to be outstanding.
Well, when I went and watched practice a couple of weeks ago, let me tell you the intensity, the competition. It wasn't in an ugly way, but they were competing against each other for lineup positions, and but in a positive way. They wanted to better the team as a whole, and that's one thing that KJ Kindler has done here is she has unified the team for one goal, and that's to win a national championship. Like you said, John, she looks just as solid as the other girls. They better watch their back.
And that's a good problem to have.
Right.
If it's tough for you to pick
Beam lineup.
the beam lineup, any lineup, you know, because you have too many good gymnasts to choose from, I'm not going to cry over my cereal for you on that one.
Right. Well, she just finished a sheep jump, and that's when you take your eyes, and, you know, off of the balance beam. And it's really hard to land that skill. Once again, no problem for Oklahoma. Going into the dismount. Nice. 4.5 dismount. Again, a blind landing, so it's harder to stick. But she did a great job. Like you said, alternate was good.
Another look at that dismount. A little shorter rotation. That was the exhibition for Oklahoma. Now we're going to go over to the floor exercise, and we have an exhibition for UCLA as well. This is Lachelle Wong. Lachelle has put up a couple of good scores for UCLA on the vault and the bars so far. Not going to count to the team score on floor exercise, however.
I'm just excited to see another one of the routines. Now this music is more quote-unquote typical for a college meet. Well, right when I say that, there you go, and say switch it over to something classical, which happens to be my favorite, so time to just enjoy. Moving along, you know you're doing something right as a coach, as a gymnast performing. Didn't pull it out, didn't she? Just
yeah, look.
on that dismount.
So a nice exhibition. UCLA probably would love to be able to use that score, but they actually did have 5 good scores on that last rotation. A couple of scores, 3 scores in the 9/8. They had the one. Sadiqa had a miss, but they'll be able to throw that score out, and they had the high score from Vanessa Zamarripa of a 9.95. So they put up a decent team total. That is 3 events here in Norman, Oklahoma, and the Oklahoma Sooners are in control. They got 6 more routines to hit, and they will have redemption. More gymnastics when we return. Welcome back to Sooners Women's Gymnastics on Sooner Sports Television, presented by Chesapeake Energy. We have got 3 rotations in the books, number 5 UCLA and number 2 Oklahoma. And right now, this is Oklahoma's competition to win. They have a tidy little lead going into this last event. Their event will be the floor exercise as we look back on their beam scores of 49.55. They're 3 for 3, Kelly, on high scores on an event for the season. That 49.55 narrowly beats out their previous high of 49.525. So quite a night for the Sooners.
They are really in a zone. It's just unbelievable to watch, because I know that KJ has been wanting this and been wanting them to understand, look where your full potential is. They're doing it tonight.
UCLA finished the floor exercise. They move over to the balance beam for their last event. This is their scores on the floor exercise of 49.35. Not the best, not what they're probably capable of doing. They gave away some tenths here and there on landings, and but still, nonetheless, they put up some good scores. I don't want to be overcritical, but when you're going against the number 2 team in the country, you got to see more 9.9s than 9.8s, and we only see 2 9.9s there, so that hurt them just a little bit.
That's exactly right. So we'll see how they finish up on the balance beam. I mean, they're having to compete on the hardest event for most people, not necessarily for the Sooners, but for most teams, finishing on beam is not usually a pleasure compared to finishing on the floor exercise, where you can really go hard, big tumbling passes, and dance it all out.
We see the Sooners there on the floor exercise holding up a 4. We see the football players put that up for the 4th quarter. Gymnasts put it up for the 4th event. Their 4th event is the floor exercise. Let's see what KJ Kindler had to say about that event.
Last meet, we only competed 5 athletes, so we were resting someone based on we had a lot of illness last week that we worked through. So this week, we're kind of full guns ahead here and have everybody prepared to go. And I think it's the most entertaining event for us. We love to entertain on that event, especially a home crowd. So you'll definitely see the athletes playing up to the crowd, kind of like you would in a Broadway musical type thing. But, you know, in between, they're just tumbling sky high. So definitely in a good place there. I know we're top 5 there as well. Trying to aim for a number 1 position on that event.
So Taylor Spears was our Chesapeake Energy gymnast to watch, but evidently she didn't get the memo. But we did talk about this because Bree Olson and Kaylee Kamichek had other things in mind, and right now Bree Olson is tied with Kaylee as the number 2 all-arounder to the number 1 gymnast in the country, Vanessa Zamarripa. I mean, Zamarripa's just given him no wiggle room. When you put up 3 9.9s, 2 of which are 9.925s as Bree Olson, you think you'd be winning, but Vanessa has a slight edge with 1 event to go. Vanessa will be on the balance beam, and that's a tough spot for UCLA to be, because they've got to catch Oklahoma, which is on the floor, and that's a tough task. As we move quickly over to the balance beam, and Kaylee Bear has started out for UCLA.
Kaylee has been a real consistent competitor for the Bruins, and as I said earlier, she's determined, she works hard. Nice side aerial. It's really critical to start off this last rotation with a good score, and I wonder if Kaylee feels that pressure. It doesn't look like it. Nice three-quarters travel jump.
And UCLA really does need to be really perfect here, and they need to hope that Oklahoma gives them a little bit of an opening. And when I say opening, they really need Oklahoma to have 2 mistakes. 2 routines need to have mistakes for them to jump in and have a shot at this. 7/10 is a tough score to come back.
It's a nice dismount of her flight series, which is the backhand spring layout right into her full twisting dismount. You know, sometimes when you're at this position, I mean, and you realize, okay, I'm not sure winning is capable or, you know, possible tonight for UCLA, but what they might be looking at is just getting that good away score to help for their regional qualifying score.
Laura Albright starting out for Oklahoma on the floor exercise.
This is the only event that Laura competes for them, and she is just rock solid. That's why she's first up. Very unique front twisting double full. I think anyone else in the competition does that, and I rarely see it even nationwide. This would be nice to compare the different styles of choreography from KJ Kindler and Valerie Contis-Fields. Wow, that was nice. I love to see that lift in the second flip, the amplitude going into the second one. Johnny, I bet you can remember how when you're just in a zone, it just seems like everything is going right. And, you know, I swear that's what the centers have to be feeling right now.
You can do no wrong. It's like you don't even think about what you're doing as a gymnast. When you're in that zone, it's your body's just taking you for the ride.
That's right. There she goes. Front handspring. Rudy, last tumbling pass. Rudy's full and a half twist. All right, nice start for the Sooners.
Next up for UCLA.
Take another look at her first pass. Oh, actually, no, that was the 1.5 twist. Quickly back over to the beam, and Lachelle Wong. She's following a 9.8 put up by Kaylee Bear, the first gymnast up for UCLA.
This girl certainly has a lot of amplitude. You see her hips rise in her leap. She doesn't just hit the 180, which is a requirement, but she also has a lot of lift up off the balance beam. You can see the confidence in the coach just standing there at ease. You know, some coaches are standing there biting their nails or something, and she's just confident as can be, just watching it happen. That says a lot about a coach and the preparation that she does for the team.
UCLA is down by 7.5 tenths coming into this rotation, which means they get to count their top 5 scores, so they need to pick up more than a tenth per routine. So a 9.8 on that first routine. We'll see what Laura Albright gets. This one's going to have to be bigger.
Wow.
It will be. Nice duck landing. They got to really put up 9.9s or better.
Well, this really is a kind of a test of your true character as a gymnast. You're finishing on balance beam. You got to hit. You're trying to catch up, and that's a hard place to be at. We'll see how the UCLA Bruins handle it.
Keely Kamichek, next gymnast up for Oklahoma. We talked about the all-around competition, just a 0.5 tenth behind Vanessa Zamarripa, tied with Bree Olson.
This kid has some serious power. Wow, the height. Ooh.
You see the line judge looking at that line. She stayed in.
This is, again, kind of like vault. When you have all that adrenaline and power going into floor, sometimes it's hard to not step out of bounds because you're so powerful. This again is that type of music where it sounds like someone is singing. I'm not exactly sure how that's made, but I know that they're not allowed to have, it's only instrumental music that it's allowed in a floor exercise routine. Makes you wonder maybe what her theme might be.
I wonder if she had to dress up for her floor scene. 2 for 2 for Oklahoma.
Good for her.
Take another look here at this pass and see how close she gets to that sideline. Huge double pike. You be the judge at home. Oh,
she's in.
We need the NFL instant replay on that one. Super slow-mo. Looked good to me. Quickly over to the balance beam. Sofina
wow,
De Jesus.
Wasn't that pretty? Front arrow right into a back handspring layout. That is probably one of the most difficult combinations in the competition. I mean, they're not holding back. A lot of times you want to hold back going into beam, and that is just the exact opposite. For those young gymnasts out there watching, aggressive when you're on the balance beam.
A 9.875 for Lachelle Wong, so they put up a 9.8 and 9.875. Laura Albright, by the way, got a 9.9 for her first routine for Oklahoma on floor exercise.
You know, sometimes when you know that it's going to be really difficult to win, you actually just go so much harder because you just go for it. You're thinking, what the heck, I might as well.
Yeah, takes the pressure off. The pressure is off.
And I kind of sensed that with UCLA on beam tonight.
Another look at the dismount. Little pike down, little hop. Back over to the floor exercise. This is Erica Brewer, third gymnast up for Oklahoma. They've so far put up 2 9.9s for Laura Albright and Keely Kmichik.
I think Erica's adds that spunk, as I told you earlier, watching her. You'll see it in every movement she does. Starts with a very high double back. Almost looked like a warm-up for maybe a full in.
Yeah, it looks like she can definitely do a more difficult pass right there.
Yeah, she could definitely twist that still. Okay. At first I thought maybe she might not make that tumbling pass, but she sure did. That right there is a dance combination. They receive bonus for that. So effortless. I love it. Now this is new for her. She's dismounting with a double pike instead of starting out with a double pike. And so it takes more endurance, a little bit harder. You can see that she landed that a little low, bent her knees on the landing, but good effort for going for it.
3 for 3 for Oklahoma, and they are doing what they need to do. Here's another look at the double pike. You can see the knees buckle just a little bit, as Kelly was talking about. But as far as winning this meet, as long as there's no major breaks, they are in control.
There really have to be probably two, one fall they could count, but the second fall they couldn't.
This is Maddie Larson. We saw her on the uneven bars earlier, have a little bit trouble with her landing. Would like to see her finish on a strong note here on the balance beam. Sofina De Jesus got a 9.875 right before Maddie.
It's also a difficult combination. She does front aerial, two front aerials, and then right into a back handspring. So you have to be right on, be able to connect those two elements, and she was. You know, that full turn, everyone kind of thinks, really, a full turn? That's so simple. But you'd be so surprised how many times that a gymnast will do these really difficult elements.
Wow,
and then fall in the full turn. Beautiful scale, wasn't it? Oh, very nice. I love how she kind of popped her chin up. Like, did you see that?
Here's another look at the dismount.
Now up for OU on floor,
Chin.
Spears.
That's what you get from a former world championship team member, Maddie Larson. Nice job. Over to floor exercise, Taylor Spears. Still in contention for the all-around.
What I like about Taylor, look at that face. She looks like, are you watching me? Because I am getting ready to go right now. She's kind of commanding your attention. There's Taylor. Going to her first swing pass. Well, once again, a front double full.
Beautiful.
A really good way of using her eye contact into the audience. It kind of brings you into her performance. I think the music also adds with that combination of the two. I think what's so nice too is that KJ finds what works for each gymnast. She doesn't just stick with a single style. As you can tell, this music is different. The style of dancing is different. It's tailor-made.
No pun intended.
Okay. Just beautiful to watch. Poise and grace. And a smile to match, a beautiful smile to match.
Next up for UCLA,
Take one more look at Taylor. What a night for her. Not sure if it's enough for the all-around title, but nonetheless, Oklahoma looking in end of the season form.
All right, here's the girl. Here's the girl with the target on her back. Vanessa Zamarripa, #1 in the country.
Currently fourth-ranked gymnast in the country on balance beam, has put up a 9.925. She has a little bit of wiggle room for the all-around, although Bree Olson is yet to go. But the gymnast tied with Bree Keely-Kamichek got a 9.9. So if Vanessa can put a 9.85 or better up, she will maintain that lead.
Uh-oh. That's an unusual break for her. Very small. Funny how the expectations change when you're #1 in the country, right?
We start nitpicking little wobbles.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're that good, you expect perfection. I think she would have it no other way.
I know it. It's what got her there. Wow.
Like a dart.
That's that same style that you were talking about earlier on her vault, that flare with her arm on her dismount. Get ready and watch it right here. She's double full.
It's so much easier to stick when you can open up and you see that landing coming.
Just cake for her. Very nice job. Fun to watch. Beautiful gymnastics.
Nipping at her heels is Bree Olson, only a half-tenth out. Let's see what she can put together. Working on her floor after Taylor Spears put up a 9.95. Bree Olson.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say Bree Olson trying to keep a streak alive of Oklahoma winning the all-around. They are 7 for 7 on the season, so it's up to her right now to try to outduel Vanessa Zamarripa.
You know what? She is right on. She is just... It is fun to watch. Makes it hard for the next meet, I have to add, but it is fun to watch the night of, and to do it, and to perform, and to feel it. It's just, not very often do you get to feel that feeling as an athlete. There what we have.
That is the dagger
I think
for Oklahoma. They have definitely sealed the team victory. Now the only question is this enough for Bree Olson to steal an all-around title from the #1 gymnast in the country? Vanessa Zamarripa scored a 9.85 on her beam routine, so she definitely gave some room. And actually, I believe, and my math is not perfect, but I believe that puts her in a tie for first place with Keely Kamichek. So at the very least, Oklahoma will tie for the all-around title. We'll see what Bree Olson does as we move over to Danusia Francis, finishing up for UCLA.
You know, I was talking earlier, and for her, have a freshman, excuse me, a freshman competing last on balance beam as your anchor says a lot about a team.
Val Condos Field told me before the meet, Kelly, and you'll appreciate this, that she teaches her gymnasts to smile, and we could see a smile right there during their beam routines. And where she learned that, she told me, and she swears this is true, she learned that when she first got into coaching in the 80s from one Kelly Garrison, from watching her on the balance beam.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty cool.
Well, my coach, Becky Switzer, she had a gift also, and she wanted me to feel my movements and to express it to the audience so they could feel it too. So what a nice compliment.
As we see Danusia finishing up her beam routine for UCLA. And just to give you an update, Taylor Spios, Keely Kamichek, and Vanessa Zamarripa are all tied with a 39.65 for the all-around. Bree Olson had to go out and put up a 9.95 to best them all. This is unofficial, but we think Bree may have stolen the all-around title. We'll find out for sure. But it's looking good as we see Haley Skaman finishing up for Oklahoma.
I love to watch this girl perform. Again, a freshman, you know, anchoring floor exercise. That is just unheard of.
Wow.
Look at that big
They had to raise the scoreboard for that one. That was huge.
Totally a command, right? She is the top-ranked freshman in the U.S. on floor. She might soon be the top-ranked gymnast on the floor in the nation.
They ranked 7th overall. Yeah, no slouch.
Well, she's come from some great training, like you said. I like her style. She's kind of like, don't mess with me. You know, like.
Got a little attitude to her. I like that.
She does. Well spunk. It's nice to see their personality come through. Look at that. Wow, the crowd they're on their feet. I love it. I love it. This is what gymnastics is all about. This is what Sooner Gymnastics is all about. What a great evening.
Oklahoma Sooners 24 for 24 tonight. As we take one more look at Skaman's first pass. You don't see too many double layouts better than that one.
No. That was huge.
And there's the dismount. So we're going to dust off the abacus as KJ Kindler rallies the troops one more time. We're going to get the final tallies together, but so far it looks really good for the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll be back with a recap in a few moments. At the Lloyd Noble Center, we are cleaning things up and we are tallying the scores. But what a night for Oklahoma. And as I'm looking at the event totals for the last event, I believe, if I'm adding correctly, and my math has never been known to be good, but I believe Oklahoma has scored their high score on each event for the season, which means obviously they're going to have their high team total for the season as well. And we are very fortunate to have the winning coach with us, KJ Kindler. KJ, can you hear us all right?
Yes, I can.
KJ, I don't know if you...
It's a little fuzzy.
Sorry about that. I'll try to be very loud for you, but I don't know if you heard me or not, but you guys scored a team season high on each individual event tonight. Did you see this coming?
Well, yeah, we
we've been building all season, and we really hadn't had that breakout performance. Sure, there were great things here and there, but putting it all together on that special night didn't happen until tonight. We had a lot of special things happen tonight. It was really exciting.
AJ, can you tell me how exactly you're going to go forward from this point? I mean, it's hard after having such an awesome night to have to do it again, night after, meet after meet.
Yes, I'm having a little hard time hearing you, but we really have been kind of steadily inching our way up. And hey, if you can compete against UCLA, that is huge. They're a storied program. They're phenomenal. They have a great roster and great coaching staff. And so for us to contend in that arena with them and to come out with a win, I'm not sure what the score was exactly, but that's very exciting for our program. I think it says a lot about where we're going.
Thank you, KJ. Congratulations tonight. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll be watching.
Thank you.
She has really done just about everything a coach can do except win a national title. She is the first ever coach to lead 2 separate teams to the Super Six. She's 2-time National Coach of the Year, 4-time Big 12 champ, 6-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. I'm pretty sure she rescued a cat from a tree and cured cancer on her way to the gym today. A national title is all that weights. As here we look at the team scores, a 198.375, a humongous score. That's got to be a record. OU has never gotten a 198. I was going to say we got to check the record books, but I believe that is a record, and it is. Ironically enough, UCLA puts up a 197.2. A 197.2, that's nothing to sneeze at, but they just came in here and they just got thrown into the meat grinder that is the Oklahoma Sooners, and it was just too much for them to handle.
Well, really, OU was just on in every event, every skill, every capacity. They were on. They were in a zone, and that's what KJ was looking for, to give them that confidence and that boost in the middle of the season to say, look, we can do this. We can win a national championship. I don't want to say we will, but I think that's what, she's trying to get those kids to believe it so they can do it.
Yeah, they look like they believed it tonight. The all-around was also a great battle, as we talked about throughout the competition, but it is Bree Olson on the last rotation. She puts up that 9.95. Vanessa Zamarripa, if you can say you can open the door with a 9.85, she did open the door just a little bit, and it was enough for Bree Olson to steal. I think you steal. Anytime you beat the #1 gymnast in the country, I think you got to consider that a steal, but Bree's no gymnast to sneeze at. That 39.7. Unbelievable. Look at those 9.9s, 9.925s.
I know. John, this is going to make national news. Everyone is going to be talking about this competition all over the country because, Vanessa has really dominated, and they're going to say, Bree also. Oh, I know Bree. She beat that girl. She is. So this is big.
It's going to give you some street cred for sure, from definite street cred. And I believe we do actually have the all-around champion, Bree Olson. Can you hear us okay? Can you hear us down there, girl? Turn that microphone up.
The microphone's like...
Hey, Bree, if you can hear me, I just want to say congratulations. Can you tell us a little bit about, I think she's gone.
We just wanted to see her. We didn't want to talk to her anyways.
Well,
we're going to work on that mic. We're going to work on that mic, but it was fun. I was fortunate to be here last year at the Big 12 Championships when she won the first ever all-around competition she ever competed in. And I would like to think that this could be a springboard for her to contend at the NCAA Championships. She got a little bit overshadowed in the Open by Taylor Spears, who's an outstanding all-arounder, and obviously Vanessa Zamarripa. But sometimes it's nice to be under the radar. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of the pressure off and maybe put on your teammates and just kind of go about your business. And here she is, the all-around champ today.
Right. She has got to feel so proud, and I think her teammates really are happy for her. It's not this competitive cutthroat, I can't believe you beat me. When each girl does their very best, it makes the team better and better and as one. And that's what KJ Kindler has brought to this program, is the unity to make this team one. Hopefully it will be #1.
So I think she can hear us. I hope she can hear us. Bree, are you there? Do you copy? Bree, what does somebody do after they beat the #1 gymnast in the country?
It's amazing. Words can't even describe it.
So do you think this is going to give you some street cred? Do you think, people are going to start talking about Bree Olson, NCAA champ contender?
You never know. I just went out there and performed one event at a time, just like I always have to, and it just happened to pass the #1 all-around, and I'm really excited. I am so blessed to be a part of this team the team, like be a contender in the national championship.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for the time. Thank you for your patience. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll be watching you. And it's great to see someone that genuine and be that excited about winning the all-around title. And certainly she's a huge team player, too. For her, I know the all-around is a big deal, but it pales in comparison to, you know, what the team does this year. As we look at the post-competition ceremony pictures all around. And here's the vaults. All three of these 9.925s for Oklahoma. This is where the night started, and it just kept rolling from there, Kelly.
That's right. And the Sooners, they've been looking for it all year long. I think this is going to give them the confidence they need for the rest of the season. It's kind of like getting over Wednesday so you can get Friday. You know, it's mid-season, and they're you know, they're now zoning in for nationals.
Ironically enough, that's their quote-unquote, if I can't say weakest event,
right,
the vault.
True.
And at 6th ranked. I mean, how weak can it be if you're 6th ranked in the country? But again, Oklahoma, dominant performance, over a 198 tonight, defeating the #2 UCLA Bruins. What a performance for KJ Kindler and her team. Thank you all for watching the Sooner Sports Television. We appreciate it. For Kelly Garrison, I'm John Roethlisberger. So long, everybody.